Okay, good evening, everybody, and welcome back to the Adams Brothers Podcast. We are here this evening with Miss Alyson Rae Lawson. And Miss Lawson, welcome to the Adams Brothers Podcast.
Thank you so much. I'm so excited to be here.
Right. You're absolutely welcome. And we wanted to ask you a few questions. We know you are extremely busy, and we wanted to first ask you about your the two 7-Elevens that you own in Arlington, Texas. Could you tell us a little bit about your 7-Elevens that you own in Arlington, and how did you become a franchise owner?
Oh, okay. Well, I always like to give myself a plug. So I do have two 7-Elevens, and they're located right across the street from each other. 100 East Interstate 20 and 700 West Interstate 20 in Arlington, Texas. And I started off by working in corporate America, and just something around the last year I was there just didn't sit right with my soul. And I felt underutilized, and like there was just something out there that was more for me. So my father was a franchisee of 3 McDonald's whenever I was younger in the 70s. And my mother is a great realtor, so both entrepreneurs. And so I just started to look into franchising and being my own boss and just seeing where that led me. And it led me to 7-Eleven.
Right. Okay. And what kind of response have you gotten from the community in Arlington and the surrounding area since you've opened your stores?
Oh my goodness, it has been absolutely amazing. I haven't met anyone who is against the idea of me having these 7-Elevens. Everybody has been extremely supportive. People come by all the time and give me words of encouragement. People send me messages, but just the love, especially from the Black community, has just been overwhelmingly great, and it really has kept me going, especially during COVID.
Which is why when I saw this, when I read the article on social media, and I had to reach out to you, and it just amazes me to see people that look like me that's franchise owners, and it's a blessing, and we are very happy for you, and we would just love to give you a platform to just promote your business and hope you make millions and millions and millions of dollars.
Thank you so much. Franchising is rare amongst African Americans, but it's not impossible, and it's not happening out there. Like I said, I grew up around a man who franchised 3 McDonald's in the 70s, so it was even more rare back then, but I was seeing it. So I knew that it was possible, and that's kind of what I'm here for, and I'm glad that I am being able to give my story on your platform to let other people know that it is very possible.
You're very welcome, Wayne.
Yes, do you have any plans on expanding outside of Texas, like here in Florida?
People always ask me about expanding. The thing about franchising is it is very easy. It is a lot easier to manage when everything is kind of close knit, and that's kind of one of the rules of 7-Eleven. Not really a rule, but a suggestion is that like you put all of your stores kind of in the same area, so that way you can manage them a little bit simpler. So no, I have not thought about Florida yet, but I'm never against mentoring somebody else who wants to open one in Florida.
Yes, and how have you been able to manage during this pandemic, this COVID pandemic? How, did it put a strain on you, just personal strain, or just how have you been able to manage?
I want to say the first month was extremely rough in sales. And so I think as a lot of business owners, we were just trying to figure out like how we were going to survive. And then I came up with the way to increase my sales. I brought in a Black-owned product, and it literally took off running. And my sales increased drastically, and it was able to help me during COVID. But as far as like, making sure that we take the extra precautions to make sure that my employees are safe, I'm safe, my customers are safe. There's rules that we have to follow just in order to be able to stay open as an essential business. And so I think that this has made it difficult but necessary in these times, and we're just trying to look to get through it as safe as possible.
Yes, and how many employees do you have working for you in your franchises? How many people?
I currently am mothering 14 to 15 people at a time, because being a boss is not just about having employees. It's kind of being that second ear to listen, kind of helping out where you need to help out just to make sure that they're okay, so that way your business is okay. But I currently mother about 14 to 15 individuals at a time, but because the stores are so close, we're able to intermingle them between the stores. So it's a very small operation, but you have to have very effective people in order for it to work.
Okay, Daryl?
Tell us about the Mcbride sisters that I believe they own their own wine brand, and you are their largest retailer there in Texas.
So the Mcbride sisters wine company is already a huge, actually the largest Black-owned wine company in the world. And so they already had a huge fan base. They were already selling a ton of wine. But I actually discovered them during the pandemic. One of my best friends works for one of their distributors, and he brought it to the forefront, and I realized that I didn't have any Black-owned products in my store. And now is the time that, you know, especially in the world of like George Floyd and everybody coming to support Black-owned businesses, it's like I need to be able to support more ways than one. So like, why not figure out how to bring more Black products into the store? And I brought it into the store, and I kind of advertised it and dropped it in groups, and it just took off running. I think I sold 1,100 bottles in 2 days. And so, yeah. And so it came to a point where I couldn't even keep it on the shelf. But it's actually a really good wine. So I still drink it. I drink it myself. But they have 3 collections. One of them is called the She Can Collection. It's canned wine. The other one is their original collection, which has like Chardonnay, Sauvignon Blanc, Red Blend, and a Brut Rosé. And then they have their Black Girl Magic, which is the most popular. And their Black Girl Magic.
What about the Moscato? Because we're Moscato drinkers here. So do you have any Moscato for the Moscato drinkers out there?
That is the one that they do not have. However, the Black Girl Magic has a Riesling, which is a sweet wine, Rosé, which is a light wine, which is closer to your Moscato. And they have a red blend. So they do have a little bit of something for everybody. Even if you're a Moscato drinker, I guarantee you will love the Rosé. But Moscato is one that they do not have.
And if we wanted to buy, go online and purchase some, like we're here in Florida, South Florida. If we wanted to buy some of buy the wine, how could we go online and where can we find it at, and how can we purchase it?
Oh, you cannot purchase it from me online. However, you can Google the Mcbride sisters, and there's a way to order it online from there.
Do you have a website for them or a phone number?
No.
Okay.
Because of course I would prefer everybody to come buy it from me. So no, I do not have a
No,
website.
it's okay. Well, everybody has Google. I'm sure they can find it one way or the other, you know. So, well, Wayne, do you have another question for Miss Lawson?
Yeah. Here in Florida, here we have a local chamber of commerce, and I don't know. I mean, I know a lot of places have that. If you do have something similar, what kind of support do you get from places like the Chamber of Commerce?
So I do belong to both. I belong to, of course, the Arlington Chamber of Commerce, and then I also belong to the Black Arlington Chamber of Commerce. I haven't really had much interaction with the Arlington Chamber of Commerce. Really nice people. I'm sure if I need them, because I am a member, I can go to them. But the Black Chamber of Commerce actually reaches out to me on a weekly basis. And they reach out to all of their small Black-owned businesses. They advertise me. I go to their meetings. Anything they need from me, like I'm there, because it really is a support system back and forth. But then I'm also, because I was born and raised in Dallas, Texas, which is right down the street, I'm really familiar with the Dallas Chamber of Commerce as well. I grew up, in that area, and I'm very familiar with those people. So anything I need, the chambers are extremely, extremely helpful. But 7-Eleven is kind of a common name that people know. So even if you're not there to support me, you're there to get gas, and you know that you saw the store and you stopped because you needed gas. So it's a little bit simpler on that end, but chambers are there to help. They really, really are. And I can honestly say that the Black Chamber of Commerce has been extremely
helpful. And how was this? What kind of support did you get, like from family and friends, or reaction from them when you did this? Because I know sometimes it can elicit sometimes jealous feelings, and sometimes it can get genuine good feelings for you. What kind of feel did you get from like friends and family?
Oh my goodness, my friends and family are the most supportive people. And I mean, they're very, very supportive. My family is extremely supportive. They're from all over. And when I had my grand opening, they flew in. And I said I had the largest grand opening that they've ever seen. It just was a beautiful feeling. I had my alma mater there, my high school alma mater, my college alma mater, my line sisters were there. You know, my church was there, my community was there, and my friends have just been extremely supportive since it started. And there's not a day that goes by that I don't have a friend that at least comes and stops by and gets gas or something like that. So I have not had a bad experience at all with family and friends. But it really is speaks to like who I am and who they are. I've always been in my community. I keep friends with everybody that I've been friends with since birth. And I've always been very supportive of them. So it's kind of just them reciprocating it to me. It's all love.
Yeah. Because why I asked that question, because I know here, and we're in South Florida, and the most complaints I hear about from a lot of Black-owned businesses is that they don't get a lot of support from their family and friends here. That's what I hear the most complaints about here. So I always wonder, you know, everyone we talk to, I always ask them that question there. You know, and most of the time it's just like what you're saying now. They get a lot of good support from family and friends. I mean, you know, genuine family and friends will always be there for you.
Yeah, and I, you know, my dad's side of the family is used to that. He franchised McDonald's and he employed the family. And then, you know, my mom's side, they've just always been over supportive of everything. So, it's just been a great experience. And I couldn't have done it without the support of my family and friends.
That is excellent. I am so glad for you. I really don't have any other questions for you.
We are speaking with Miss Alyson Rae Lawson. She is the owner of 2 Black-owned 7-Eleven stores in Arlington, Texas. They're right across the street from each other. If you're ever in the Arlington area, please stop by and patronize this strong Black sister right here, and go by and you know, again, support. Get you some gas. Stop by and, you know, just patronize them, and I'm sure she would appreciate it. I know for a fact when I'm in Arlington again visiting family and friends, I will personally, and I'm sure my brother will as well. We will stop by and introduce ourselves and say hi to you and patronize your business at the same time.
I'll be there.
Well, thank you so much for stopping by the Adams Brothers podcast. We know you're busy, and we thank you for taking the time out of your busy schedule to come and speak with us and allow us to give you a platform to help promote your business. And we hope that you turn into a billionaire, and wish you happy holidays, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, and Happy Kwanzaa if you celebrate Kwanzaa. And again, thank you for stopping by the Adams Brothers podcast.
Of course. Thank you for having me.
You're welcome, and have a good evening.
You know what? Do any other large media corporations ever call you to talk to you about being an entrepreneur?
What do you mean? Like do
like CNN or any of those, you know, because I know they profile a lot of businesses from time to time. Do you get calls like from like Roland Martin or someone like that? You know,
no, nothing on a large scale just yet. I think people are still picking up on it. I'm just as humble as possible, so when they call, I'm there. But until then, I'm just working my business. But if you have CNN's number, tell them to call me.
Okay. Well, you're on your way. We once they see us, you on the Adams Brothers podcast, it'll just blow up from there.
All right.
Miss Alyson Rae Lawson, thank you again for stopping by the Adams Brothers podcast. Happy holidays to you, and have a good evening.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.